across the globe in famous cities and exotic resorts. There are restaurants that most of us can only dream of visiting. We'll glimpse inside these exclusive spaces. We'll get a taste of the lifestyle that goes with them. And we'll meet the men and women who have made them what they are. This time,
An Undersea restaurant, you don't dine there every day.
Simplicity, in my mind, is one step closer to perfection.
Here it's all about the overall atmosphere and the experience. We offer almost an evening at the opera.
the Maldives. This exotic paradise consists of almost 1,200 islands in the Indian Ocean. It's the picture postcard holiday destination of a lifetime, where honeymooners lie on pristine beaches or unwind in the spa, sip cocktails or enjoy the turquoise waters. It's a place to escape and relax. One of these exclusive resorts is Conrad Maldives' Rangali Island. This small island paradise offers 12 restaurants and bars. But in a place where land is at a premium, where do you go for that extra special dining experience? Welcome to Ithaa.
It's a unique place. Diners come from all around the world just to dine in the restaurant.
When the people come inside, they say, wow.
It's not an everyday thing for them to do, and we want them to cherish that magical moment.
The location of a restaurant is very, very important because great meals start with a journey. The location and how you get there adds to the anticipation.
Guests access this restaurant at the end of a jetty, where they descend a spiral staircase.
Welcome to the world first tall-glass Undersea restaurant.
Here, relaxed luxury is the name of the game. The natural setting invites a very different kind of service to most high-end restaurants. With that in mind, they have a unique dress code to echo their unique surroundings.
All other restaurants have walls and ceilings, and we don't have that. We only have 180 degrees glass. We have a floor. All other restaurants, you go with the shoes. Here, you come without shoes.
We want to give you the barefoot experience because Maldives is all about barefoot experience.
Not having your shoes is much better, make you feel free. It's good. We did something different.
Named as the most beautiful restaurant in the world by the New York Daily News, Ithaa has seen its fair share of romance.
A lot of guests came here just to propose. The person who proposed in such a unique place is smart because she can't say no.
With such an incredible view out of the window, the food needs to seriously impress.
Keep the stock hot for risotto, please. Yeah, is it away, main course?
With a background in two-Michelin-star cooking, Jordanian Ayub Salame is the executive chef at the helm of the Undersea restaurant and all other outlets in the resort.
I think it's beautiful. The reason I cook is because I love to eat.
In 2011, he arrived to transform what was a family restaurant into the high-end gastro destination it has become.
Service, away please. When I create these degustation menus, all what I'm thinking of is it has to satisfy me first. So I am a high demand, and if I don't like it, I don't serve it. It's a challenge for me to compete the view. I need something which grab your attention. We always look for luxurious ingredients, which we can source all year round. We offer caviar, we offer duck foie gras, black truffles, white truffles.
Wanting the finest ingredients from around the world is all very well, but getting them to a small island in the Maldives is another matter.
We have 8 flights every week to the airport, and then from there comes with our boat. The boat have chillers, fridges, so arrives here every Monday and Thursday.
Where others shout about local provenance, this chef has to be defiantly non-local in sourcing produce.
We buy beef from Tasmania, we buy beef from German, we buy the asparagus pieces from Holland, avocado from Kenya, the lettuce from Australia, from Thailand, from India, with some potatoes and tomatoes from Sri Lanka. We also have things like gold salt, which we do the finishing of Ithaa dishes, especially with the new menus. 400 grams, it costs almost $2,500. People love it. Just think new, keep me updated. Every time I travel, come back with a new product, new items.
Though there is at least one local dish.
My favorite dish will be the Maldivian lobster carpaccio.
Fine dining amongst the marine life in paradise does not come cheap. In fact, this restaurant is regularly listed as one of the most expensive in the world.
The cost of the meals is $320 for the 5-course dinner. Many guests book the restaurant only for them, which might cost $10,000 and above, and it's worth it.
These places are certainly worth the experience. If you have the money and you can really relax and let yourself enjoy it, it's a huge adventure. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. What's the fun of having the money if you're not going to spend it on things that give you pleasure and make you think, make you happy?
The place is unique. The food is made with passion and love. It's just like what everyone is looking for. My mom is always saying, your eyes eat first. Your eyes eat before your mouth. So I always like to have my dish, like you look at the dish and say, oh, I'm gonna eat you.
And it's not just the food that causes a logistical headache for the team at Ithaa. For sommelier Kamal Malik, getting the best wines for his cellar is not straightforward.
Transportation time to Maldives is fairly big. You need about 3 to 4 months advance planning. For Christmas, orders will go out by end of July, and we will have the stuff on Christmas. If I miss this, the bottles will miss the Christmas deadline. Keeping that in mind, you have to have a lot of bottles. We keep anything between 16 to 20,000 bottles on the island. Undersea restaurant definitely is a place where people open the best of the stuff. You don't dine there every day. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and you want to have the finest. Special bottles, we have plenty. There's one nice bottle sitting there of Cristal. 2,000 bottles were commissioned in the year 2000. We're trying to sell it for 52,000. We had 2. One's gone. One still is here, so let's see who's the lucky one. When we sold the other bottle, of course we were happy because we made some money. You also feel sad because you're never going to get that bottle back.
To complement the extensive wine list, the team has developed its own specialities.
Ithaa itself means mother of pearl. So we do a cocktail called the Pearl. Comes in a martini glass with a big rock of ice, colored with some blue curacao to give it that effect, and it's a martini. It's a beautiful drink.
Ithaa is an undersea 14-cover restaurant. It was built in Singapore, then shipped to the Maldives, where all 175 tons of it were sunk 5 meters beneath the waves.
It took actually 13 hours to sink the whole structure down.
The restaurant, which cost a staggering $5 million, raised the bar in the unique dining stakes.
Mr. Salim, he's the owner of the resort. He was the one who came up with this crazy idea of putting a restaurant under the sea. Yeah, hats off to him. Good idea.
Here, diners enjoy a 5-course European-inspired menu, eye to eye with the likes of stingrays and black-tip reef sharks. As well as their barefoot rule, the staff need to match their service to the beautiful surroundings.
To be able to do it, you have to have the right skilled people who are able to take care of you well.
And here you can find 4 kind of different sorts.
What we want to achieve is the right balance where you're not disturbing, but the needs are being taken care of.
Service is much more than just service. It's about hospitality, and it's about the connection and the bond that you create and share with people. It's about making people feel special. That's what it's about.
First thing that they do is to offer to take pictures.
1, 2,
because that will stay with you for a long time.
Thank you. So black tip.
The team is trained to tell you the names of those fishes that you would generally come across.
These are the bluefin jackfish here.
We just want to make it memorable, to make it special.
There's a very fine line between wowing your diner and serving food that has soulfulness, and you really need both to be a great restaurant.
Food and service, they are both important. Let's go. Nice and clean. Service are the mirror who's delivering the chef experience. That takes a lot of training on how to serve the dish. Simple as that. Finish.
It all needs to come together. The experience has to be, at that seamless level. If you only remember the food or the wine or the ambience, then, the restaurant failed.
To help protect their massive investment, they employ a member of staff rather unusual in the world of fine dining. Not many restaurants need a scuba diver to clean the windows twice a day.
We see sharks just swimming by, and sometimes stingrays. There's an artificial reef that was built just at the level of Ithaa, so there's good coral life, and from the surface, they feed the fish from time to time. It's very nice.
10 years ago, when the restaurant was put under sea, we imagined something, and now we have seen it come alive, getting better. Everything has evolved over the last 10 years. It's a special place.
I am very lucky to be working in a paradise. What else do I need?
Not all the world's best restaurants are in world-famous cities or glamorous resorts. On the edge of the English Lake District, nestling at the foot of the fells, lies the picturesque village of Cartmel. It's nearly 300 miles from London, It has a population of less than 5,000, but it's home to a restaurant that can compete with the best that New York, London or Tokyo has to offer. With 2 Michelin stars and an array of other accolades. This is L'Enclume.
Service.
At the helm of this Cumbrian contemporary classic is chef patron Simon Rogan.
The restaurant means more to me than anything. I mean, it's my spiritual home. We've been here now for 12 years, and we started off with a vision to go a certain way. All the hard work and the graft is now bearing fruit.
L'Enclume is French for anvil. Simon has housed his vision in a renovated 14th century blacksmith's forge.
Let's go 6 carat lunch menu, yeah? Yeah. There's going to be another 2 after that. Yeah.
Initially, the remote rural location, over 3 hours by train from London, was something of a challenge.
I remember when we opened the doors to L'Enclume, it was, oh my God, what have we done? We were struggling to do anyone during the week, and we might do 15 or 20 people on a Friday and Saturday night, but that was the extent of it. We used to get people coming up from London at the weekend that had been stuck on the M6 for 7 hours, and they were getting to us 3 hours later than they were meant to, full of rage and full of, like, it was tough. Now they don't really care. They're just glad to be here.
The restaurant isn't easy to get to, but its setting provided Simon with a perfect opportunity to innovate.
L'Enclume just happens to be slap bang in the middle of one of the most amazing places for wild larder, cattle, shellfish. Everything I needed was here for the style of food that I wanted to serve. I decided to eliminate all foreign ingredients and try to make sure everything was Cumbrian. See, you know, all of a sudden we can't use lemons, which in a chef's toolbox is the most valued weapon, because there's nothing like being able to squeeze a bit of lemon juice to heighten and bring out flavours. So we had to find substitutes for all the ingredients that we were no longer going to be able to use. It took a few years to eliminate foreign culture and ingredients and to concentrate on what was important, and that was where the restaurant was, and to connect to its surroundings and all these wonderful products. So the area is everything now.
This is the countryside, this is farmer's land, this is pie and chips. For somebody to be doing not classic French food and not pub grub, something very different, I think that was a struggle. It was a real struggle.
The dinner offering consists exclusively of a 17-course tasting menu at £120 a head, which Simon has developed to showcase this local produce.
He's been dug in for quite a while, investigating the local ingredients and trying to make his food an expression of the landscape. And the landscape of the Lake District is very, very particular. And L'Enclume is that very much regional restaurant which makes a virtue of its sense of place. You can't get that food anywhere else.
Simon's hyper-local approach has paid off. And in 2015, L'Enclume was voted the UK's best restaurant for the 2nd year running.
My initial thought of being voted the #1 restaurant in the UK was, oh my God, what can we do to improve things? And I'm thinking, well, actually, we've been voted #1 for a reason. So what do we need to change?
And with the accolades, the crowds have followed, all the way to Cumbria.
Table 18, 2 covers, room 15. Table 11, 2 covers, non-resident. 25th wedding anniversary. Some people never get to celebrate that, ever. So bear that in mind, bring it up, talk to them about it.
Guests who make the long journey to Cartmel can stay in rooms at the restaurant, heightening that sense of a break from the ordinary.
Once you've left one of the big cities and come here and see the difference, and again, I think that's really positive for our guests. You don't just get a guest eating, you get them away from their life. They're here, you've got them the whole time.
L'Enclume in Cumbria has overcome its isolated rural location to become the UK's #1 restaurant. For chef patron Simon Rogan, it's part of a culinary adventure that started as a young child.
I suppose it all goes back from a very early age. My father was a fruit and vegetable salesman in the fruit markets, veg and fruit markets in Southampton. And he would bring home things that we had no idea what they were. And it was way back in the time when it was pawpaw and kiwi and star fruit, and they weren't even in supermarkets yet. And they used to sit in the fridge and more often than not go mouldy because we didn't know what to do with them. And I think that's what, ignited the chef in me, that, made me curious.
A career working in grand country hotels and classic restaurants followed, working for such celebrated kitchen icons as Marco Pierre White and Jean-Christophe Novelli.
My career probably started properly when I opened the doors of L'Enclume and I could finally do what I wanted rather than have the handcuffs of being in employment.
And what he wanted was to be simple.
Simplicity, in my mind, is one step closer to perfection. Whether you ever achieve perfection, that's a tough nut to crack. But you're going a long way to achieving that by starting off with the perfect raw materials, and that's what we source meticulously.
To help achieve this, L'Enclume has something that few restaurants can call upon: its own 12-acre organic farm.
I think the food here has become a very naturally led cuisine. Our quest for the perfect ingredients from our farm has led to a more simplistic way of serving them. The fact that we're growing ourselves means that we can utilise every part of the plant. So, most ingredients, you have a stem, you have a root, you have a leaf, you have a flower. So we are able to utilise every part of the plant, which you can't buy from any other supplier. And it also gives us our unique selling point as well, that we're using parts of things that people don't normally use.
I speak to my grandmother sometimes and say we're being really avant-garde, Gran. We're using lovage, and she just looks at me like I'm a nutter. No, we've been doing that since before the war, Sam.
To help push the culinary boundaries, Simon has set up a development kitchen to work on new dish ideas.
At the high end, you have to innovate all the time. You have to make sure that you don't just become some museum piece. The development of development kitchens, they're sometimes called culinary labs, seems to me the logical extension of that.
The development kitchen is a facility to help us use our ingredients in a really efficient manner. So when the ingredients are ready from the farm, we have to have the techniques and the method in place. So when the ingredient is harvested, we're ready to go and the recipes are in place.
So that means goat's cheese treated with liquid nitrogen becomes goat's cheese snow.
You push yourself to to create new things that you would never thought were possible, really.
I think it's to the benefit of the designer, generally, because it does actually give them a playroom in which to come up with delicious things to eat, and that's what it has to be about, doesn't it?
L'Enclume's development kitchen doubles as a chef's table, allowing up to 6 diners to try out new dishes before they land on the main restaurant's menu.
I had 6 chefs from Yorkshire, and I think they'd been for a few drinks beforehand. In fact, they'd probably definitely been for a few drinks beforehand. And it was halfway through the dinner, and one of them sort of leaned over the counter and stuck his finger in my sauce and went, "Oh yeah, what's that?" I was like, "Oh my God, did you really just do that?"
The location, the farm, and the development kitchen all feed into the restaurant's extensive and imaginative tasting menu.
It's a way I like to eat. It's a way to showcase our ingredients. We need to have a long menu because we've got so many ingredients we need to use. But, you know, I look at it as a journey.
Most chefs in high-end restaurants are basically train spotters. They're obsessives. They love to get down and dirty in the detail, and they love to refine and refine and refine. And the tasting menus enable them to do that.
It's the greatest hits factor. It's a way of saying, come to my restaurant, you don't have to do any work, you don't have to choose. I'm gonna make you exactly what I wanna make you and show you what I can do.
When it's at its best, it can be a spectacular thing of rhythm, and it can be a dance through flavours, sometimes to miraculous effect.
It's about the whole menu, it's about the rhythm of it, it's about how it works to each other. You know, texture, taste, heat, you know, all these different acidities, all these different things are taken into account, and it's the journey, it's on that journey for a reason.
There's individual, incredible elements to this meal, but when you put them all together throughout a whole evening, it's a night out.
Delivering a menu of this complexity brings its own set of challenges.
There's about 20 things that we will serve to our guests, which, with 50 guests, is 1,000 things to give them over an evening. And then deliver them all with ease, and never make a guest feel like they're part of a huge machine operation. There's so much going on around them.
The guests, they want to see the effortlessness. They want to see the swan, but they want to see this elegant swan. They don't want to see the pedaling underneath.
At its peak, you've got around about 140 to 150 things going on for every guest coming in the restaurant. This was equating to around about one thing happening every 2 seconds.
A meal lasts around 3 hours. During this time, Simon and his staff strive to ensure a guest never gets bored.
We need to keep people interested. We need to keep it, you know, different, and you know, we don't want people falling asleep. You know, the pebbles from the local beach or the driftwood. You know, it's not a short experience. You know, so we try to keep it as interesting and fresh as possible throughout all the courses and give something different, visual to the eye.
If you ever look at guests in the restaurant, they're watching the room. The room itself is theatre with these many things going on at once.
Madam, would you also care for some of the marigold and the hyssop?
Our tea trolley brings an element of theatre to the service, as does our cheese trolley. You know, they are theatrical in their approach.
I wanted to say to you all thank you.
Oh, thank you.
First time we've been here.
All right, okay.
And it's been absolutely great.
Oh, good, thank you. Have you enjoyed it?
Oh, some amazing flavours.
Against all the odds, L'Enclume has not just survived, but thrived.
A lot of people said we wouldn't be open for very long. Here we are 12 years later, full most nights and for lunch, and getting busier and busier. It makes me very proud. But I'm not finished.
This is Munich, the capital of the German state of Bavaria. If that conjures up images of lederhosen, Weisswurst and Oktoberfest, or perhaps the chocolate box Baroque architecture in the old town, then it's time to think again. Prepare to encounter a restaurant that turns those hearty Bavarian clichés on their heads. It's glamorous, theatrical, and flamboyant.
Maybe the only Michelin-starred restaurant with orange carpet on the ceiling in the world.
Welcome to Tantris. Tantris landed like a red and orange spaceship in post-war Munich. Its name comes from Eastern philosophy and refers to the pursuit of enlightenment through pleasure. And where better to pursue pleasure than in a restaurant that has 2 Michelin stars, is regarded as one of the finest wine restaurants in the world and seen by many as the cradle of German gastronomy.
The experience at Tantris is really the interaction of the relaxed atmosphere that we offer, the staff that is perfectly trained but not overly stiff. It's an interaction of guests who want to enjoy themselves and us giving the stage. It's a party atmosphere, but on a very fine dining, exquisite level.
Tantris' union of exuberant design and fine dining has made the restaurant one of Germany's most fashionable and exclusive destinations, attracting national and international celebrities.
Harry Belafonte was actually here quite a number of times. Larry Hagman.
Larry Hagman.
Dallas. Brooke Shields.
Brooke Shields, yes, they write me very nice pizza, Brooke Shields. Yes,
The restaurant guestbook is prized by the staff, be it old-timers like Pietro Petramili, who has been with the restaurant since it opened.
Chris de Bourg.
I never sing that one, but I love.
Or more recent members of the Tantris team, like American head sommelier Justin Leone.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was also here. It was in his heyday, that's for sure. And then Thomas Müller, of course, hometown hero, but now internationally famous. World champion FC Bayern. The young find their way to us actually more often than not. Christina Aguilera, that was during my first year here. So many huge stars, whether it's Carlos Santana, Rolling Stones, I mean, I'm pretty sure Aerosmith's been through here, but I think my favorite signature in the book is actually Woody Allen, which is a huge page, and I think he signed it like this big.
They do 20-minute work for designation, and then later big for me. Thank you, Peter.
With stylish decor, glamorous clientele, and award-winning cuisine, Tantris is also at heart very much a family restaurant. It was opened in 1971 by Fritz Eichbauer, who still visits the restaurant with his wife twice a week for lunch.
Hello.
It's now run by their son, Felix.
I was almost born in here. It was my mother was pregnant at that time. We had a company party in here, the Christmas party, but literally from here she left to give birth to me. So we were making fun that even I received my first milk bottles out of 3-star restaurant chefs' hands, and so this is home to me.
Felix's well-travelled father, tired of having to journey to France for a gourmet meal, wanted to share his love of modern architecture and fine food with his home city, which back in the 70s was something of a foodie wasteland.
From what I hear, almost no fresh produce was available. People were opening cans, so there were the food, the style of food, and also the produce was just not very good.
That was until Herr Eichbauer Sr. launched Tantris.
His vision was if he would bring a restaurant like that he experienced on his travels back to Munich, everybody would at the end fall in love with it.
But was the Munich of the early 70s ready for such a bold statement?
I think he was 10 years too early. It did happen, but just it took much more time than we ever could have expected.
Eventually, the rest of Munich caught up with the trailblazing Tantris, which to this day resolutely retains its funky 70s vibe.
If you enter today, it must be the same feeling like 43 years ago.
When we go to a restaurant, we're going for dinner. We're not going to worship in a church. We're not going to bow down before gods. We're going for fun.
I don't care whether it's modern or classic as long as it rings true and authentic to the place I'm dining.
And anything, be it a theatrical little flair on the top, which adds to that fun, has to be a good thing.
Without Tantris, there wouldn't have been a German food revolution.
Eine Spargelsuppe, eine Essenz, bitte. Hier hat die deutsche Kochgeschichte begonnen. Mit Eckhard Witzigmann, ja, und dann war Heinz Winkler und dann Hans Haas.
Remarkably, in over 4 decades, the restaurant has only had 3 chefs. And for the past 23 years, Hans Haas has been in charge of the kitchen.
Diese Küche, was wir hier machen, ist einfach, ja, schon eine Gourmet-Küche, aber trotzdem sehr einfach mit den besten Produkten. 2 große neue 1-1.
Chef's Haas food is really so concentrates on the perfect produce, and he wants to have it as clear as possible. So there are never more than, I would say, 3 ingredients in a dish. And what stands out most for me are his sauces. Yeah, the sauces are really, really divine. It's reduced to the max.
Tantris is big by fine dining standards, and Chef Haas runs a busy kitchen, catering for 120 diners a night who can order à la carte or dine on a 5 or 8 course gourmet menu at 160 or 200 euros a head.
I think he was obviously the perfect chef because it's a beast to manage. Since it is so big, we always also wanted to if we have the demand, to accommodate 120 customers.
So there's the haute cuisine and the funky furnishings, but what's the final ingredient?
For us as a family and for Tantris, wine was always utterly important, and I think we were always very famous for having a fantastic wine cellar.
We have between 40 and 50,000 bottles, and we end up in a year selling between 4.3 and 5 million euros per year.
When you have a chance to actually taste these wines, you start to really understand the difference in between a wine that brings simple pleasure and a wine that's truly monumental, that somehow tugs at you, grabs your soul, and somehow leaves you a little bit different than before you opened the bottle.
Justin's job is to maintain and enhance the restaurant as a magnet for wine lovers.
An all-encompassing, world-class, quintessential sommelier is, of course, for me, the quintessential gentleman anyway. I think taste is absolute, and if you are a doyen of taste, then that should also stretch to everything that you do.
The sommelier in a restaurant is one of the trickiest jobs, because sommeliers are people imbued with vast, vast knowledge, and they need to have communication skills to be able to communicate that. There are very, very few really good sommeliers. The ones who are really, really good are the enthusiasts, the ones who turn up at your table and are desperate to introduce you to things that you might not have thought you needed.
What of wine we?
Something, something. Yeah, I think something fresh, something that speaks to the asparagus, the vegetal character of the asparagus, but still light and crisp and refreshing and summery. It's
German
a warm
or French?
Maybe something in between.
In between, yeah.
maybe we go to South Tyrol.
Oh yeah.
Maybe South Tyrol, and a wonderful selection from Vida Romans.
Oh yeah.
The Virus Sauvignon Blanc is fantastic. Fresh, grassy, snappy, little more body, little more power than your Sancerre. Beautiful wine.
Okay.
Let's try.
We try.
Let's try.
Yeah. Okay.
Now with Justin having an American sommelier who's so knowledgeable and gives you such a deep history and background of the wines that you can experience here.
This is perhaps the most coveted bottle in our cellar. This is the 1978 Romane Conti from Romane Conti, Domaine della Romane Conti. It's the kind of wine that when you taste it, you not only taste the greatness of the terroir itself, of Romane Conti, the power, but with such an incredible elegance, but also the vintage.
And the price tag for this treasure of the wine cellar?
Unfortunately, this isn't something that everyone can access on our wine list. It does lie at around the equivalent of about $22,000 US.
Tantris' sense of opulent indulgence runs throughout the restaurant, even to the latest restroom, recently restored in keeping with the original style by Felix's architect wife, Sabine.
This is one of the most talked about rooms in the restaurant, and when we're here to dine, I can see ladies coming back from down here, and especially when they're here for the first time, they go, "Oh my God, you have to check it out later." We just remodeled it. Actually, we believe it looks more like the original one because, you know, it had been painted over, and so we actually took to scratching the paint off of the furniture to see what the exact pink was back when they opened.
As a child, I was always it always reminded me of Kermit and Miss Piggy. Yeah? I was allowed with my mother when I was very young, but nowadays obviously it's not a room where I spend a lot of time in.
Beautiful bathrooms, fine dining, fabulous wine, fantastical furnishings. All contribute to Tantris' aim of maintaining its reputation as a fun night of ambitious scale.
Also die Küche allein nützt nichts, Service allein nützt auch nichts und der Wein allein auch nicht, aber alle drei zusammen, perfekt.
Here it's all about the overall atmosphere and the experience. We offer almost an evening at the opera.
The focus is really on the absolute just sensuality of the sumptuous texture and the colors of the restaurant around you, the warmth, hopefully, that's coming from your company, and the laughter and the excitement, but also the relaxed and indulgent nature of the restaurants. I'd be fired.